guys, and welcome back to the change process. We're going to take a look at step 2, which is the becoming in our Begin Become Be, and that's all about the action. So we're very careful in step 1 when we're setting our vision not to get caught up in what the actions might be to pull that vision toward us. Very deliberately that's the case, because we don't want to inhibit our creativity around that vision by getting bogged down in the what would it take to get there. But in this step, that's what we're going to do. So firstly, if you've taken that time and invested in getting that vision clarity through awareness of the contrasts and the feelings that you're currently experiencing, good for you, and get excited, because from that place you have now positioned yourself to understand the actions that will be required to get you there. And what you'll find is by having clarity around that the actions themselves will feel easier, more achievable. They will quickly gain momentum, and the whole process of chasing that vision will be more enjoyable than chasing the wrong one, quite frankly. So what we want to look at is essentially there's going to be actions that you're going to take, and I've used for some time the idea of lily pads, and that is simply the idea that if the frog's sitting on the edge of the bank of the pond and he knows that where he really wants to be is on the other side of the pond, he's got any number of ways he could go about it, but let's just take 2 ways. So he can go for that big leap across the great expanse of water, looking to land on the lily pad over here, get a big win and know that he's much closer to where he wants to be. There's some danger with that though, and that is that it's a risky leap for him. He can end up in the drink, and there's any number of predators in the pond that he might need to look out for if that's the case. The upside is he may get to where he wants to be, but it's a risky endeavour. The other approach is that look at the lay of the land, look at what is the next lily pad that makes sense, that lines up for you to be able to keep consistently moving closer to that other bank. And that's how we really want to go about creating our change and looking for our designed life and our kingdom, and essentially getting to that vision that you've now built. So what that is about is taking inspired action in the right order and understanding how to move closer and respecting the process and the time that may be required to make that happen. Obviously, some visions require a lot more time than others, depending on exactly what it is right now that you're looking to achieve. So essentially, these actions become those goal sets that will, when they are stacked on each other, will create our kingdom. So they're the building stones of our kingdom. So what I really want to encourage you to do is, when you're looking for what are the actions, is to look for some easy wins, essentially. What are those things that you can do right now that will move you just that much closer to where you want to be? The things that you can do, not the things that are the big lily pad leap, that if you could just get there, then that'd be the answer to everything. Those ones tend to come also wrapped up in potential for disappointment and disheartened about the whole idea, and all of a sudden you lose sight of the other bank, because when you're in the drink it can be hard to see that vision over on the other bank. So we want to look for those actions that you can just step across right now that will get you to the other side, and getting that action and some momentum right at the very beginning is super important, so that you can keep, you want to have some wins that keep you moving. Nobody wants to be just in the trenches, never ending, without seeing some results for where they're going. So just bear this in mind, a domino has the ability to knock over a domino 1.5 times its size. Now, the reason I want to bring this up is because that's a pretty small thing. So if we took a 5mm domino and knocked over the next domino that's 1.5 times its size and continued, and these are our tiny little goal sets here I'm talking about, this is what we're talking about, you'd only have to get to 29 dominoes before that 29th domino would be as tall as the Empire State Building. Now, that's exactly how understanding what actions to take and putting them in the right order and giving yourself some wins looks like. You get some early wins and you build some momentum, and the next step becomes that little bit bigger, and it really is a snowball. And why it becomes so powerful again is because you are moving towards something that you've invested in understanding what it's really about. It has more meaning to you than just dollars or kilos or status or something like that. It is a vision that's placed and understood from the feelings you're currently experiencing. So watch for the lily pads, get some early momentum, remember the dominoes. Just little wins all add up. So what do you actually do right now about getting onto these lily pads and so on? Well, one of the big parts of what we do with our time is understanding what's the next thing I can do right now that's meaningful toward achieving that goal. Kind of seems obvious, other than the fact our life just doesn't let it happen like that. We've got an inbox full of emails from people who don't really, are not so concerned about what it means to us and all those sorts of things. We've got commitments and all these sorts of things. We all have these responsibilities, commitments and so on, but what you've got to do is take some time to understand how important are they really to where you're going, and you will filter through 80% of your daily activities and find that they really don't mean anything to your outcomes. And you're looking for the 20%. And that is the question to ask yourself is, what's next that you can do? And it's not the thing sitting in your inbox that just popped in, the subscription to the magazine you forgot about long ago or whatever that is. But it's what's next that matters. What matters to you, to getting you to where you want to be. So that's really what action is about. I want you just to understand from there is, yes, we're not going to go into how do we create these goals and those sorts of things. That's for another session. But I just want you to understand the idea of respecting the process of taking the steps, identify your lily pads, respect each of them, get some early momentum, filter through your day and look for what really matters for you to get your outcomes. And that's how we create action, and that's where the becoming is in our Begin, Become, Be. So we'll see you for step 3, and thanks again. We'll talk soon.